Hello and welcome back to the Angry Dave podcast. I'm Dave. My next guest is Little T, Tree, my sister Theresa. Theresa, say hello to the world.
Hello, world.
So, Theresa, you were born in 1981, correct?
Yep.
In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania,
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
in Methodist Hospital. And you had one big brother, and his name was Angry Dave.
That's right.
All right. Talk to me about your early childhood. What's your first memory?
Well, first memory, not too much of a first memory, just a lot of small memories throughout the years that were always the same.
Go ahead.
You know, like the family parties, always being at my mom's.
Yeah. Our mom's dad, or dad's mom.
Dad's mom.
Yeah.
We pretty much lived there.
Yep.
And more there than home.
Are those early childhood memories good memories?
Very good memories, actually.
Talk to me about that. What do you like most about them?
Just everyone being together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you remember most? So do you remember the other kids coming along with them being around?
I do for up until my about teenage years, and then it fades away a little bit of being all together.
Right. How about being my little sister as a toddler or middle schooler? What was that like?
I remember you being real helpful.
Yeah.
But just more like a dad figure than a friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Even when we were little like that?
You know, it's funny. I don't really remember when we were little.
Okay.
I hear that you were always there. You always helped. You were involved.
Yeah, a little bit maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
you remember
as much as you could be as a 5-year-old.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Do you remember us being walking over to my mom's being there in the morning, on the weekends or during the summer? Do you remember that stuff? Me trying to do your hair? Do you remember any of that?
A little bit, very little.
Yeah, me and being terrible at putting your hair in a ponytail. Any crazy memories from how about up until you were 10, 11 years old? Anything like that? You have anything?
You know, it's funny because the things that you remember.
Yeah.
I feel like were kept away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I knew there was issues and stuff going on, but I didn't know what and why.
Right.
And it's funny. I wish I could remember.
Yeah, no.
And I try to.
Yeah, no. But you were also little, though, right? So you're not really going to remember much at 5 or 6 years old.
Really many bad things happened to me when I was little.
How about going into your teenage years? What was Theresa like at that point?
A handful. The younger years, a lot of dance in school.
Right.
A lot of dance in school memory. Mommy always being there, always helping.
Right.
But I was a fit thrower.
Yeah.
So I was a leg kicker and get down on the ground and pound my hands. And
when did that start? Do you remember? Was it?
I think it started around 8.
Yeah.
9. Yeah. 12 was when I really.
When you went. When you were a little nutsy.
Yeah, a little nutsy.
And what grade were you in? 7th or 8th grade, right?
8th grade.
8th grade.
It's the summer before 8th grade.
Is that when you went to Gamp too for a little bit?
I went to Gamp in 6th grade.
And you only got there. You only stayed there for how long? Did you?
Year, just that year. And I had a really bad problem with the teacher, and I don't know if that was me or her.
Yeah.
But I failed all my main classes, the 4 main classes, and the principal.
I forgot about that. I had a meeting with the principal.
The principal. Yeah. He knew us, and he knew you, and he knew Antoine, and and he said, "I'll pass her, but she's got to go. She's got to go back."
Yeah, and then you went back to Thomas.
I went back to Thomas.
12 years old. What are you getting into? What's going on at that time?
I still hung out with Stephanie a lot, and we were stupid things like drinking and not getting in much trouble. But then when I started hanging out with the Marshall Street kids and 6th Street, 7th Street.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pot.
And that was I was starting at 12 years old. Really?
Yeah, it was summer before 8th grade.
So you're hanging on the corner, just smoking?
On the corner, just not really getting in trouble.
Yeah.
But the corners were trouble.
Right.
So I wasn't a bad kid, but it just wanted to be a part of something.
Right.
Yeah.
And then how was school going on after that?
Not good at all. Yeah. I really never liked school.
Yeah.
And it just, into high school, it was off.
Yeah.
I had no time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you bounced around several different schools in high school. Is that right? Two.
I went to Parkway up in the city.
Right.
It was a little charter school.
Yeah.
And I did there 2 years.
Right.
And then I went back. When we moved to Jersey, I came back it was 1 year in Southern.
Right.
And
then you moved to Jersey?
We moved to Jersey. And then that was that next year that I quit. Because Mommy was driving me in every day. And I was walking up. We moved. And I was very unfamiliar with the woods.
Yeah.
So, 16 years old, I went away for a weekend with a friend, and I came home and all my shit was packed.
Oh, so
yeah, they didn't tell me.
So, all right, so let's talk about that time in your life. You're 16 years old. You're not really doing well in school. You're not going.
No.
I mean, I remember a time where you were walking in one door, walking out,
and Frank DeMizio would catch me almost every time too. But
yeah, and he was a cop. He was
the truancy cop in the area.
Well, he wasn't.
He wasn't a truancy cop, but he was the cop, and because he knew me, and he would never take me back into school. He'd just bring me home.
Yeah, he was your personal truancy cop.
He was my personal truancy cop. Yes, he was.
So you're struggling, and then was there like any criminal what was going on that Mom? Oh, weren't you? You were down in Jersey in the campground.
Yes.
Living there. Were you having trouble down there? What was going on down there?
Well, at first I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
And then I got a job at the Burger King up the street. Started meeting a few people here and there.
Yeah.
And they lived in Richland, which was about by foot, probably 45-minute walk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, down the street, 20 minutes in the car, 10, 15 minutes in the car, but it was a pretty darn long walk from the back of the trailer park all the way there.
Yeah.
And then they weren't the greatest of people. I don't know. I just always automatically met those people. I never, ever got in criminal trouble. Ever.
You were always meeting people that were sort of like a little troubled, like doing dumb shit.
Right.
What do you think that was about? Just like if you look back, what led you to those types of people?
I think looking back on it was just when I used to get in trouble, I used to pull the whole poor me thing.
Yeah.
And I just think that, well, you want me to be this way, and I'm not going to be this way. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be me and whatever I want to do.
I'm going to be the exact opposite of what you want me to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think I did it to hurt anybody.
No.
But I don't think I really even noticed how I was hurting people.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't think I was doing anything wrong.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and then, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of guidance at the time. Our parents were struggling pretty hard.
Yeah.
So they were worried about everything else other than the two of us, really. I mean, that's the truth.
That's the truth. Yeah. It really is.
So, all right. So didn't you get in some trouble in a campground?
Okay. That's a story.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've never been as much trouble as I've been in. I've never been beat.
Right.
I count on one hand how many times I've been hit.
Yeah.
And me and a boyfriend were in the trailer, and it was late at night. We should have probably been home.
Yeah.
And we were in the shower stalls, just hanging out, like the shower houses.
Yeah.
And we got into an argument, and he broke a mirror.
Oh.
He punched a mirror and broke it.
Okay.
And we were, like feet away from being out of the trailer park. Feet. And Daddy pulls in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the owner pulls in at pretty much the same time. And it's telling him what I did and everything that happened. And I looked at the owner, and I was standing right outside Daddy's window it was the white truck, I think, I want to say.
Yeah.
The white Chevy. I was like, you know what? I looked at the owner, and I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't give a shit what you have to say. And I turned around and looked at Daddy, and he punched me right in my lip.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I was like, and I grabbed my mouth, and he started crying and drove off.
My dad did?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then didn't the guy say that you couldn't come back there? Is that what?
Yeah, I pretty much got kicked out. And I moved in with that boyfriend for, I want to say it was about a year.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, Daddy used to come and pick me up for work every day. Take me to work every day. Yeah.
Is that when they packed your shit up?
Yeah. Well, no. When they packed my shit up was when we moved from Darien Street to Jersey.
Oh,
They never told me we were moving to Jersey. I didn't know because they
gotcha.
knew I'd give them a hard time.
Right.
And in hindsight, I would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have to understand too. You're moving me from
Yeah.
where I grew up to the middle of the woods. I mean, super South Jersey.
Yeah. They call it Buna, but it's called Buena in actual Spanish.
Near Vineland.
Yeah, near Vineland,
Yeah.
which is literally the middle of nowhere.
And Vineland's not good either.
Right. No, Vineland.
It's not a good area.
No, Vineland has its own problems. Right. So, all right. So then you're living with, whose name was Dale, right?
Yeah.
You lived with him for a year. And then what you do after that?
I went back home.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah. Like a little something happened. You know, Daddy came and got me.
Yeah.
Some son of a bitch stole my TV. We went to go get my stuff. They wouldn't give me my stuff back. We had a big ordeal.
Right.
And Daddy was just like, whatever, we don't need that.
Right.
Just take me home.
Right.
And I went back home for a while.
And how long were you there?
I want to say, because I moved to Arizona when I was 19 going on 20. It was the March of 2001.
All right. So you moved to New Jersey when you were what? Like
I went 16.
When you were 16?
Yeah.
You were there
for a few years.
And then what brought you to Arizona?
Well, me and our mother have a different recollection of that. I feel like I remember being sent there just to get away. I had a round trip ticket. I could have came home.
Yeah.
You know, I had opportunity to come home, and I went to go see. I stayed with family of ours, mom's sister, Susan, and I ended up getting a job and meeting Carl, and never came home. I just stayed.
Yeah. So what was your different recollection though? What do you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. She thinks that I chose. She tells me that I asked to go there.
Right.
And I don't remember it like that.
You remember her saying like you need to get away.
Right. Well, right before you got married, I went out to visit.
Okay.
And I was 18. I stayed for I think almost a month.
Right.
And then I came home. It was just a visit. And I was miserable. I wanted to come home the second day.
Right.
You know, but that was still being wrapped up in the boyfriends and, you know.
Yeah.
And thinking that these people missed me too.
Right.
But I think maybe she gets them times mixed up because I did ask to go then.
Right.
So maybe, but I remember being
sent out there. And how did it make you feel at the time, if you remember?
At the time, not terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't start feeling a little bit like, I hate to say it, abandoned.
Yeah.
As I got a little bit older.
Is that like more when the kids came?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So talk to me about that. Lead me up to the kids. Like you're out there at 20 years old?
20 years old, just about 20 years old.
And you're with your aunt.
I was with Ruth. I was with my cousin.
With your cousin for a while.
And her husband, living at their house.
How long did you stay with them?
A couple months.
Months. You met Carl.
And then I met Carl, and he moved me in without telling his mother he was moving me in. I'm there for 3 days, and I'm like, look, I got to go get some clothes.
Right.
I got to, I was going to work. It was funny because they lived on 32nd Street. My work was on they lived on 36th Street. My work was on 32nd Street, and Carl lived on 30th. Right. So it was all like right in between each other, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when I had left Ruth's house and I was going to start staying with Aunt Susie. I didn't even unpack my bags yet.
Right. Right.
And he was like, yeah, just go get your bags. I'm like, does your mom know about this? Is this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bring my bags in the house. She's like, what's this? Thank God she liked me and we got along,
right.
You know, but that's when I just never went home.
How long had you known Carl before when you moved in with him?
Oh, it's funny. We knew each other right when I moved out there.
Okay.
I had Dale came to visit.
Right.
Okay. And that was the biggest mistake ever.
Right.
And sent him home. We went home and he knew, like he had met him, came face to face with him.
Right.
Hated him. Oh, it was the big thing. Oh, yeah. Big tension. After that, like, I was waiting on him. I worked at a sports bar called Famous Sam's.
Okay.
And I was waiting on him. He was my customer, and I didn't know his name yet. So I would put on my ticket, my guy, because he was my guy. He was the one that gave me good tips.
Right.
It always came to me.
Nice to you.
And he stopped coming when I brought the one over.
Oh, really?
And then after he left, he started coming back.
Gotcha.
And I guess it's funny, he told his cousin and a friend that had lived with them that, I want a girl with an accent. I want a girl with an accent. And he met me and he's like, I'm going to marry that girl.
That's funny.
And yeah, and then it was probably I probably known him for about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long?
6 months.
And you guys were dating for how long, maybe? A day?
Not long at all.
Oh, so you were like a lesbian couple.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, you want to move in? Second date, you want to move in? Well, and you guys.
Got nowhere to go. Hey, he's coming to my house.
And what year is this? What year?
2001. It was the end, towards the end of 2001.
And you guys have been together ever since?
Ever since I was 19, he was 17.
Ooh.
Yeah, robbing that cradle.
So, all right. So, talk to me. You guys move in together, and what happens next? What's life like for a little bit?
So, we didn't have children for 5 years.
Right.
So we lived it up. We did our thing. We partied a lot.
Yeah.
Together, and we got better together.
Yeah.
And we did what every adult, most 20-year-olds that are doing that do.
Yeah.
And got into little drugs here and there, but never really got. We had a family. His parents. We had a family structure at home. We had people that cared about us.
Right.
So we had people to hold us accountable.
Good.
And say, look, this is getting a little out of hand.
Right.
If you don't stop, I'm gonna kick you out.
Right.
I'm not gonna do this, which I don't think they would have ever kicked us out.
Right.
But it was just to get us to.
Yeah, but it was somebody to make you face it.
Make us face it.
Yeah.
I got lucky.
Yeah. And then you had Michaela in 2006 or the end of 2005.
November. Sorry.
Go ahead.
October 2005.
October
18th, 2005.
How does that change life?
Changes life a lot. As we all.
Talk to me about that.
I know, everyone says this, but she saved my life, kind of, our lives.
Yeah.
She's a special girl. And just having babies, that you're never going to be alone, Yeah. That you always have someone that's going to love you as long as you love them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a built-in teddy bear if you want it to be.
Definitely. And,
or if you nurture it, I guess.
Growing up with such a big, giant family and having that tribe, having that, it's that village.
Right.
And then all of a sudden not having it and my children not having it, it hurt me.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was really, really hard.
Yeah.
A lot of sad days, but.
And that's when it started really clicking that you didn't have that family structure.
Right. The big, the parties, the big get-togethers, the birthdays, there was maybe 10 of us and they were all just close friends. And these close friends are not even in our lives anymore.
Yeah.
They apparently weren't that good of friends.
Right.
So
yeah. Talk to me about just the struggle. Now, obviously, you have to kind of do it. You're doing it basically on your own. You have Carl's parents to help you, thank God. Talk to me about the struggle, internally. How was that? Just getting used to it, being a parent.
Getting used to being a parent?
Yeah.
It's pretty hard. With Michaela, I didn't get any postpartum. We weren't trying for her, but we knew we were ready to start. We were 24.
Right.
So we knew we were, when I found out I was pregnant, I went to Daddy and I was like, are you mad at me? And he's like, well, when are you going to have kids? I thought I was still too young.
Right.
And I guess he was at the point he thought neither of us were going to have any kids. So, because, I was 24, you were 29.
Yeah.
So, right. And then, boom, there's two.
Yeah, real quick.
Right, real quick, within 6 months. And it's a struggle to be a mom.
Yeah.
And to be alone and not have your mom around.
Yeah.
My mom was a superwoman to me my whole life.
Right.
She did it all. And I needed to do all that. I needed to be that.
Right. Yeah, and you would have liked to have that support.
Right. I mean, I had his mom, and I give her all the credit in the world, but it's still not your mom, especially when you're a girl.
Yeah.
And you're the only girl.
Yeah. And then Taylor comes how much longer?
I found out I was pregnant. Michaela was 18 months old.
Okay.
So Taylor was a
A
surprise.
surprise.
Michaela was still in diapers, and
Yeah.
me and Michaela would sleep till 10 o'clock, and she was my buddy. I went straight back to work with her after her. I wanted to. With Taylor, I didn't want to go back to work. Maybe it's because I had two kids and I thought that I needed to be there, but me, I'm a worker and I get depressed when I don't work.
Right.
So
you need to be doing something.
Yes, I cannot be an at-home mom. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm great at it when I get home from work.
Right.
So yeah, Taylor was hard. Taylor was really hard. I got real depressed with her. Not the type of depression that I didn't want her.
Right.
Or didn't want anything to do with her. Just that I didn't know how I was going to do it.
You felt trapped a little bit?
Yeah, a little. She was up at 6 a.m. every morning. She was a different kid. I didn't know how I was going to give equal love to two different people.
And they're both under 3 years old.
Right.
Yeah. Struggle. So you have them. Talk to me about life for like the next 5 years. What was that like? Getting Michaela into school, raising Taylor.
It was nice as they got older, having them close together.
Yeah.
I now that I look at it, I'm glad because they're closer. We were a little bit further in age, so it's like, I was 10, you were 15. You didn't want nothing to do with me. No 15-year-old wants anything to do with their little sister at 10 years old.
Yeah.
Of course, I wanted everything to do with you, and your friends. And
yeah. Yeah.
But the next 5 years were, struggle. We were young. I feel like we were still young.
Yeah, you were young.
I still feel like we're maybe a little lost.
Right.
Not knowing exactly how to take care of each other.
Yep.
And the kids.
Let alone the kids, right?
We don't, you don't want to think you're not doing enough.
Right.
And enough is never enough.
How did your childhood inform your parenting?
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I think good and bad.
Yeah. Talk to me about that.
I think that I'm a little shut off sometimes. I have a real good habit of just putting a wall up, not hearing anything, not, you could be right next to me saying, Mom, 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 Mom. And I did the same thing. My mom.
Yeah.
She was the same way. And I see a lot of her and me. And I watched her work and I knew I had to work hard. That's what you did. That's what you made dinner for your kids. You worked hard. You bought them things to make them happy.
Right.
And I guess I could have paid more attention, school wise. I could have been more involved in school and with them.
With the kids.
Yeah, with the kids. I feel there's them regrets. I could have been a better parent.
Yeah.
But I think I was just the best parent I could be now.
Yeah.
That they're older.
Yeah, we're all doing the best we can, no matter when we have them. How about things that you were it was important for you to change?
I definitely didn't want it to repeat. I never really seen mommy and daddy fight. There was only a couple times that I seen a big giant blowout fight, but otherwise, like I said, it's kept from me.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should keep our shit to ourselves.
Right.
And it's hard to explain. Some people just need help sometimes. And sometimes I was down, sometimes he was down.
Right.
And it felt like it was never just both of us up.
Yeah.
It was always one or the other,
Yeah.
And kind of a lot of judgment flying.
Between who?
Me and Carl. The parents-wise.
Yeah.
Parents-wise,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's...
And you wanted to, you didn't want that to continue with your mom?
With my mom and dad.
Yeah.
Where she allowed him to do certain things and he allowed her to, because neither of them were perfect. They both had their things.
But as parents, they were never on the same page.
Never. I could go to one, they'd say no, and I'd go to the other one, and they'd say yes. And we actually have that issue.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to work on it because I don't want to do that. I remember when that used to happen, and it made me feel.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that to my kid. You can't come between us. You can't.
Yeah.
Daddy says no, go ask mom. I have to say, well, no, your dad said no, you got to say no. But there's sometimes that I don't.
Right.
And it comes, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, Laura and I are pretty good at that, but she struggles with letting me be a dad sometimes.
I
You
do
know,
the same thing. Yeah,
with letting me, or just as hard as she might seem from the outside, she's softy with her two sons.
oh, I can, yeah.
So, sometimes I need to call her bullshit and she gets mad at me because I can be, I mean, you know this well. I have a forked tongue, so I can be mean when I say things.
That's everyone always, Carl tells me, why you being mean? I'm not. I swear to God, I did not. I'm not being mean to you. I swear. Well, you said it like this, and that
Yeah.
comes off mean.
Right.
But in my head, I'm not being mean. I'm just telling you.
Right. All right. So I want to take a step back because I want to ask you to bring me up to date. But I want to take a step back because you talked a little bit about me as a brother, with you as a teenager. Talk to me about how I was as a brother during that time.
I think you were worried about me. I think that you thought that my father should have been more of a father, more of a disciplinary, not a father. He loved us. He did what he could.
Yeah.
But I think you think he should have been more down on me and maybe kicked my ass a few times.
Yeah. So looking back, I probably thought that at the time. I did. Looking back though, I don't think that was the answer, but I think that they just needed to try to get you some help.
Right. Oh no, I did need help. I absolutely needed help.
No, I was sad.
I was depressed. So I was a sad little girl.
And you were heading down the wrong path and looking to be accepted, and they should have got you therapy or got you out of those situations and just been more hands on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they just weren't.
They weren't. They just weren't.
So yeah, I tried to be a father. Be
that for me.
I did.
Yes.
And I was unsuccessful. And I've said this on the podcast, but I've never said it directly to you, and I feel bad about that time.
I know you do.
I do.
And I don't want you to.
No, I appreciate that. And I forgive myself and for it, I guess I should say that. Not that, and I appreciate that you forgive me for it, but if I had to do it all over again, I would have tried to be your friend. And then maybe we wouldn't have lost 20 years.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because we lost 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think that had a lot to do with it, right? The feeling that people were judging you here, or that I was judging you, and
that I wasn't good enough for you guys.
Right. Yeah. And that certainly is not the case. And I'm your big brother, and I just want the best for you. That's all I ever wanted, even in the times where I was being a judgmental prick.
I know that, especially now that I'm older. I know that. I do. I know.
But I was a prick. Mike Bright actually said it on the other podcast, and I know that. And I'm sorry that I was. I mean, again, like you said, I was 5.5 years older than you. I wanted nothing to do with you, and I made it known.
Listen, I believe that you were just trying to find out who you were too. How could you?
Of course.
Do it for both of us. It wasn't your job to do it for both of us.
No, it wasn't my job, and I shouldn't have tried to take it on. But we didn't have much guidance. We had a lot of love. They certainly loved us, but they were teenagers. They were children having children. I mean, even when you were born, how old were they? 24?
24. Yeah.
Right. They were 19. They were still young parents.
Yeah. When I had Michaela, I still felt like I was too young.
Right.
At 24, you're not as grown up as you think you are, of course. You never are. But
so, yeah. No, so then the other question I had is, I always ask everybody, and I forgot to ask you at the beginning of this podcast, if you have any Angry Dave stories you'd like to share.
Absolutely. I don't have many, but I do have the one that stands out to me the most.
Yeah.
I have two, or actually three, but the one that stands out to me the most is when I was living in Jersey and I was living with him at the time.
Your boyfriend Dale?
Yeah, my boyfriend Dale. And you guys had come and got, I think I was at work. I was working at Wawa.
You were working at Wawa.
And you came to get me it was a family function. I don't remember what we were doing.
Me neither.
But you and Daddy came to get me. and I guess he was up there and told you guys that she's not coming with you. And
Yeah.
of course, the way I was, I didn't want to choose,
Right.
so of course
You wanted him to be able to come, and Daddy said no.
Right. So
Yeah.
then that was going to be, well, if he can't come, I'm not going, and I think it was more him. He was abusive in a way that, he did what he said, or there was issues.
Like verbally?
Verbally, yeah, and I guess he got I think I went back in the store or something. I came back out and you had him up against the wall by his neck and you gripped him up.
Yeah.
Because he said something to Daddy because Daddy was big at the time. And
yeah, I was. So I'll take the story from here. I stayed in the car. Daddy asked me to stay in the car. I stayed in the car. I tried to stay out of it. And then they were yelling at each other. And I rolled down the window and I heard Dale call him a fat piece of shit.
And I don't remember that happening, but
because you were back inside.
Okay.
Because you were going to get fired because they told you to get back inside.
Right.
I think you did get fired, didn't you?
I eventually. Yeah, it wasn't too long after that.
Yeah.
Too.
So he called him a fat piece of shit. And I got out of the car and I picked him up by his neck and with his feet dangling. And I threw him up against the wall and I lost it. And then Daddy actually, I think, did you come out and were you yelling too?
I was yelling to get off him. No,
Daddy,
I thought you were going to kill him.
Well, Daddy told me to get off. He's like, Dave, you got to let him down. You're going to kill him. And that happened later with somebody anyway. But that's not something he would normally do. But our father was probably a year away from gastric bypass surgery. He was 400 pounds. He was fat. And he wasn't doing much with his life. No. And then I let him down. Do you know the second half of that story?
I don't.
So everything calms down. He runs inside, and I want to go see him. So I told Dad, I said, Dad, I want to go get a drink. He's like, oh, don't start any trouble in there. You're going to get her fired. So I promise, I'm not going to start any trouble. So I go, and I walk around, and he's standing in the back of the Wawa by the freezers, and he's shaking. So I felt bad for him because he got himself into the middle of something that he had no idea what he's getting into.
He had no business.
Yeah, and he was
only 16.
Was that right?
Yeah, he was we were the same age.
Yeah, so how old was he?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
17 maybe. We might have been 17 by then. But
yeah, I think you were 17 or 18. Anyway, but so he's in the back corner of the store, and I'm like, Dale, listen, I'm sorry that happened. You just can't get in the middle of something between this father and daughter. You have no idea. And he says to me, you're just lucky you're Theresa's brother. So
of course he had to say something.
So I snickered and I said, listen, Dale, I get it. If you want to go in behind this Wawa right now, I mean, you can hash it out man to man. We don't have to tell anybody. It'll be, it'll be fine. We'll work, we'll do it man to man and it'll be over. He's like, no, I'm all right. I said, all right, that's what I thought. And I walked away. So, well, that's one of them.
I think I ended up going. I want to say I ended up going. Yeah. And I got to tell the other one. I got to tell the 6th Street. I remember, well, it was on, where was I?
Fairhill Street.
Fairhill Street.
Yeah.
Okay. And normally I didn't go over there. I didn't really pass 7th Street normally. Yeah. And I was over there I wasn't really doing anything. I don't think I was doing really anything bad.
Right.
But I was just in a bad spot. It was a bad name.
No, it was a drug. It was a drug corner.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%. What was that fat dude's name that hung out there? Big fat dude that used to sell all the drugs. Anyway, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. It was a known drug corner. If they would have came, you would have got swept up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You pulled me off the corner, and we lived on 2400 block of Darien Street,
which is about 3 blocks away.
And you literally kicked my ass the whole way home. Like you would catch up to me and then boot me in my ass again, and I'd snubble up. And you'd catch up to me and kick me in my ass again the whole way to the door. Yeah. All the way to the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That's not nice.
No, but I I shouldn't have been where I was.
Yeah, but I didn't.
I could have got killed over there. I could have got
You could have gotten in trouble.
trouble. I could have got given something that could have hurt me.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
yeah, but again, it
Was
wasn't.
it
It wasn't my.
Wasn't it Shunk Street, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fairlawn
Yeah.
Chunk. Again, it wasn't my place to do it. But I used to get phone calls and
But who was gonna? My
no,
aunts and uncles did.
at times, yeah.
When they were told and they knew, but other than that,
No, I mean, our parents just weren't in that place where they were gonna be proactive about it. I don't know. I mean, I guess to me, I was a boy. It was a little bit different. I guess they felt, but I was in a lot of shit too. A lot younger than you, actually. I mean, I found sports, so it got
and
me.
you never got caught.
Well, Teresa, I mean, somebody got stabbed one time, 7 times in the back. It's not like I had to go to court for it. I got arrested at 15. So it's not like I didn't get caught.
Right.
I didn't get caught as much as you did.
I could never do anything without getting caught. I got caught. There was somebody up the street that knew an aunt, knew an uncle, knew my brother.
Right. There was
too many eyes. Way too many eyes.
And you were a girl and they were going to tell on you.
They were going to tell on me.
Yeah. All right. So let's catch everybody up to date with the last, your girls are now 17 and 15.
17 and 15. Kayla's almost 18.
Last 10 years, what's been going on? How you guys been doing?
We've been doing all right, actually. COVID actually was very good to me. It's strange, but financially, COVID was good to me.
Good.
And we got to save money and be on the other side of that instead of always being broke and living paycheck to paycheck. And that's what I wanted to change.
Yeah.
The whole, if my kid asked me for something, I got to say, when my parents didn't have the money.
Right.
I remember feeling that well, maybe if I don't ask them, it's my fault that they bought me that pair of sneakers.
Right.
Then they don't have money to pay their bills.
Right.
And I don't want my kids to feel that way.
Yeah.
So you don't want them to feel responsible. It's my job. It's not their job.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really, really good.
Good. And what's the plan for the next 4 or 5 years? What are you guys planning to do? What's the next step?
The next step for me personally is I'm told every day how bright I am and how much I should go and get a better job and not go back to school, just go take my GED and see if I pass. And, if I have to take classes, I have to take classes. I need to get my license. I still don't have my license.
Your driver's license?
My driver's license, yeah. So in living in Arizona, it's hard without one,
So the kids are older now. Time to take time for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get it.
That they can pretty much take care of themselves. If I can leave them home now for days if I have to.
Yeah.
But I definitely need to go home, look into a new job, get my GED. The things, my little regrets. I wish I would have went to school.
Yeah.
Just them little things.
Right.
I don't not regret everything.
Right.
Things have the way they happen, they lead you where you are.
Right.
And I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah, the butterfly effect, right?
Right.
If you do one thing different, maybe everything changes.
Right. Maybe I would have never had my kids.
Right.
So.
How about your relationship with your brother? How's that going to be in the next 5 years?
We're working on that.
Yeah.
And it starts here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
warms my heart.
Everybody knows they're here for like a week in Philadelphia for the first time. That doesn't include a death in 17 years.
Yeah, and think about that. Every time I come back, it's just for someone's funeral, and that's even sadder.
Right.
That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I feel like we all could have tried harder over the years.
Absolutely.
But I have this problem with not picking up the phone, not calling, and over the years, I feel like I get real melancholy. So So when I feel like if I talk to you, I'm gonna get sad, and I don't want to call you and cry all the time.
Yeah.
Every time you hear from me, I'm blubbering. I'm a blubbering idiot.
Yeah, but if we talk regularly, then it wouldn't be all the time.
That's true.
Right.
Right.
And it would be a support system, right? It's not a support system that's next to you, right? But it's a support system That's a phone call away.
And like you said to me, we can have a relationship far away. And as when I was younger, I don't think I believed that.
Right.
It was we were all so close, so
Right.
close knit.
Proximity wise.
Right, proximity wise.
Yeah. So, but you also didn't get to see everybody sort of go out and spread out and have their own life and sort of be
right.
Just as, even though we live a few blocks away from each other, we don't necessarily see each other all that often.
Right. When I left, it was still, we were all still, the other cousins were all still quite young.
Right.
So everything was still
cohesive.
Nobody was gone.
Right.
And then, once grandparents started dying, my mom, she was a glue.
Yeah. And then everybody has their own little family now,
Of
right?
Of course. Yeah, we grow up and we have a family. You don't have the time per se you got to raise your family.
Right.
And
then you have obligations with your in-laws
and this and that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Aunt Kathleen and I live a few blocks away from each other. We still only see each other, 8 or 9 times a year. You know what I mean?
That's still not a lot. You could walk to her house.
Right. Again, right. And that's somebody that lives right next door to each other. But yeah, I mean, that's just the way things happen. But again, being that far away, feeling like you were outcast, I mean, I get it. I just don't want to keep being that way. No, that's all. No. Our kids really met each other for the first
time. Like literally, Nicholas called me aunt, and I started crying. Yeah. I'm never going to be called aunt by anybody else.
Right.
There's only us. There's only 2 of us.
Yeah.
My mom used to it's funny. I remember when we used to fight when we were younger.
Yeah.
And we'd be at my mom's house.
Yeah.
And she'd tell me, Theresa, it's only going to be you and him one day. Stop fighting. Don't do this. Don't do this to each other. And yeah, it's happening. So.
Right. It is happening. All right. So now I'm going to ask you about some advice. How about advice that you would give the 18-year-old version of you? What advice would you give?
18, maybe a little younger.
Yeah.
Too, but just stop following.
Yeah.
Be you. It just stop wanting to be a part of the crowd and what other people perceive.
Yeah.
Just do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because
you think it's going to be cool.
You think it's going to be cool, or you think you're going to fit in. I just wish, yes, of course, go to school and stop throwing fits to your mother that just does nothing but good things for you. You know what I mean? But
right.
It's not even that. Just be a little bit more independent, not so much of a follower.
Yeah.
Because I definitely was.
What do you think 18-year-old version of you would think of your current version?
I think she'd be surprised. I really think she'd be surprised.
What would surprise her?
That I'm doing as well as I did.
Talk to me about that.
In my younger teenage years, that doing drugs, you could get stuck in that.
Yeah.
And I was one of the lucky ones.
You didn't think you were going to survive? What did you?
That I didn't think I was going to survive, but that whole you're going to have 10 kids by the time you're 18 years old if you don't stop. And my friends telling me you're going to be the first one to have kids, and I was the last one actually. When they had multiple partners.
Yeah, and you're still with the same guy.
And I'm still with the same guy. Yeah. So, and he's still around.
Yeah.
So it's
right. How about new parents? Any advice for new parents?
New parents, just don't. You're only human. You can't hold the world in your hands. You just got to do the best you can and try not to regret not doing more. You did what you could.
Yeah.
Yes, we can all do more. We can all work on ourselves, and better ourselves. Everyone, even if you're at your best in your life, I still feel like there's a better version of me.
Right.
So I definitely want to meet that better version of me.
How about bosses? Do you have any advice for a boss?
And I just wish bosses would appreciate their people more loyalty. They want you to be so loyal.
Right.
But then on the other hand, there's no loyalty. You're just a number. You've been with them 7, 8, 9, 10 years. you think you'd be like family. This person's never going to leave me. They're working. I could be paying them more. I could be, and they're still here doing it. And I just feel like they definitely could be more appreciative.
Yeah. How about young workers?
Young workers, young workers.
What do you got to say?
I really wish they would have some sense of work ethic, some kind of work ethic, some kind of responsibility. They don't care about anything. I have a lot of young workers at my work.
Yeah.
And I mean, from the ages of 15 to 17, a lot,
Yeah.
And they just.
No pride?
No, nothing. There is no working more than, this is what I'm told to do, and I'm going to stand here and do nothing else.
Right.
I'm not going to clean up. I'm not. Well, why are you wiping off that counter? I got to do it later anyway.
Right.
But you do it now. You're standing here doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like keep yourself moving. I'm that type of person. I have to stay moving.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm going to fall asleep standing there. So I have to stay engaged. I have to stay moving.
Yeah. I mean,
it definitely probably has something to do with some kind of ADHD, ADD as a kid.
I don't know. It's good work ethic, though. You have to. You shouldn't. You can't work by your job description. It'll never get you ahead.
It'll never get you ahead. And I that was one thing I might have not been had an education per se, like college and late high school, but I always pushed myself. I would go to a place, and if I had to work at McDonald's, I was going to be a manager at McDonald's. I wasn't going to be just a cashier. If I have to work at Arby's, I'm going to be, a manager at Arby's.
Right.
So I didn't have to not that I have to answer to nobody. It's just that I wanted a little more freedom.
Right.
And I would work hard to get it, though.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and nothing replaces hard work.
I mean, I've got a job at Walmart in my 20s, and I was a manager in 3 months, not even 3 months.
Right.
That was just what I did.
Right.
And I want to get out of that food.
Yeah, the food business.
Yeah, it's going nowhere. It's a going nowhere. I'll be working for minimal for the rest of my life and working hard too.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're always going to work hard in the service industry, always. All right. Tell me about what it's like being your husband. What would Carl say about you?
Carl would say that I'm a good woman, that I would do anything for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a little hard to live with sometimes. I'm a little, I'm a little cold, I guess. Sometimes I'm a little attitudey. I got my attitude, but you can handle me.
Yeah, a little moody sometimes.
Moody, there you go. Yeah, moody, definitely moody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
so some things haven't changed.
Some things haven't changed. I just know how to control it better now. I mean,
Good.
I threw fits for a long time, and up until I was in my late teens, and maybe some as an adult.
Yeah.
But they were drunk days, and they over drinking and not wanting the party to end.
Yeah.
The music goes off, and
Teresa's not done.
Teresa's not done. No, she wants to. And I think that it was always about I didn't want everyone to leave. We were having a good time. It would make me melancholy again.
Yeah.
Especially being drunk. That's why I don't drink today, because I just get super emotional. I'm either super duper happy or super duper sad. There's never no in between.
Yeah.
You
have any advice for people in new relationships?
Love is hard. It's work. And you're going to work on it if you want to stay with someone for the rest of your life, you're going to work on it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But just be honest with each other. That's it. It's all about honesty.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, we all mess up. We all do things wrong. We all do things not in intentions to hurt people.
Right.
There's an incident when we were first together that I had wrote a letter to an ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
And it hurt him a lot.
I'm sure, yeah.
I mean, underwear drawer thrown outside. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it's forgiveness and trust from that point.
Right.
Trying to just make it better.
Yeah. How about a person that was most impactful in your life? One person, if you can think of one.
I'd have to say my mom, my grandmother.
And why?
Just that for me personally, and I'm sure it's for a lot of other people too, but she was everything to me. She never judged me. I always felt unconditional love.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to give her love to get it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that was real important,
Yeah.
to feel accepted and to feel like you're not just the screw up of the family,
Right.
but you're the screw up because you're screwing up,
Right.
but you don't think that when you're
Yeah,
15
but that's
years old.
right. That's not. Yeah, that's not who you are. Right. It's just something that you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How about an event that was most impactful to you? Is it
No,
is it going to Phoenix?
yeah, it has to be. It really has to be. It changed my life.
Right. Changed everything.
I tell my kids all the time, it's moving away and starting new is amazing. When I moved to Phoenix, I became a different person. Nobody knew me.
Yeah.
I got to be a totally different person.
Well, and that was what college was for me, by the way.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, you didn't go too far, but you went away. When you live in Philly, you stay in Philly. You don't travel to Westchester on the weekends.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the Westchester was far for you.
Yeah. No, it was a whole nother
It was a whole nother world. It may as well have been 2,500 miles away.
Right. I tell people it may as well have been Australia. Right. It was just a different world for me. But here's my question to you: if you don't move to Phoenix, do you think that you get your life together like you did?
I hate to say no because I did have people that cared.
Right.
So I want to say that if I got that bad, I was bad, but I was never,
right.
I never got locked up. I mean, I think I was arrested once for curfew. I told mommy I was going to be one place and I want to, I forget where it was, but it had to be an hour, 30, 40 minutes away from home. She came to pick me up, no bra. I mean, it was the only time that I feel like my mother wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
Like she really wanted to hit me that day, and we were just out past curfew, not doing anything wrong. But I just was where I wasn't supposed to be, like normal.
I wonder if it would have took longer though, because you would have had like more excuses not to get better. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right, and
or more chances for people to give you 17 more chances.
Right.
And yeah. where you were on your own.
I was on my own. I didn't have anybody. I was just, and that was a fear too. Right. I mean,
and you had to figure it out.
I had to figure it out. I always had him, and he always was there for me. But there was a lot of times that I felt on my own.
You mean Carl was
always there for me. But
right, but it was the two of you.
Just the two of us, and his parents, did what they could.
Right,
but they couldn't do certain things, know, and that's okay.
Yeah,
but we just got to figure it out. And thank God we had each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do feel that if I didn't move to Arizona, yes, it might have been bad.
The struggle might have been longer.
The struggle might have been longer. Definitely.
Yeah, I wonder that for you. I don't know. I don't know if it was, it hurt and it hurt for a long time. I know, but maybe that was better in the long run because I don't know that our parents were equipped to help you.
No, and I think that it was the only thing they knew, like, get her out of here. If I get her out of here, maybe she'll do better, and then I did have to make sure that nothing was going to, because, the Satanjas, my mom's sister, she did some things, but they weren't really there for me like that. Not like, I just felt like I had to definitely do it.
Right, on your own.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and on your own, I mean just you and Carl, not...
Right, well, no, sometimes I think that I even put that on him. Like, I still feel like even sometimes now that I do things alone.
Right.
And I gotta stop.
Right. Yeah.
Thinking I have to do it, be the one
to do it on your own and bear the burden.
And bear the burden.
I got it. All right. How about some embarrassing stories? Any drunk or high stories you want to tell us?
I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell it.
Aunt Christy's in the background?
Not embarrassed, like, oh my God, that happened, like when you fart in public.
Yeah.
Embarrassed, like that was awful.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
was awful.
Well, let's hear the fucking story.
All right.
Jesus
So
Christ.
I could go to school one day. I was in Southern, and we walked up to Pat Steaks, got some hot chocolate. Walked in one door and out the other in school. Got some
Yeah.
hot chocolate. Popped a couple Xanax. Walked up to North Philly.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so we're getting, just smoking weed, and we're on the street corner. We're on the corner somewhere in North Philly. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And last thing I remember is just seeing this junkie on the corner shooting up. The next thing I remember is my Aunt Chrissy punching me in the face on 13th Street walking home. I lost my backpack. I got all the way home from North Philly. I don't know how I got home. I don't know if the person I was with maybe got me to where I was. I could have swore I was on on Oregon Avenue coming off the subway. And they say I was on 13th Street. I guess someone seen me walking down the street and they called my name out and I didn't answer. And I just kept walking and I just straight face, just walking like a zombie.
Christ.
And a car pulled up and I didn't know who it was. So she grabbed it.
Yeah.
And she was saying, Theresa, it's me. Yeah. And I started swinging. So my subconscious, I guess, was defending myself because I didn't know. And then all of a sudden I heard her voice. And I was like, and then, do you know how like in a movie, how it comes back like a warp bubble? Yeah. It all just and boom.
Yeah, and and you like regain consciousness.
Just like almost a fast forward.
Yeah.
Into slow motion.
And then you were getting punched in the face.
I was getting punched in the face because I was hitting her, and it was her and Uncle Mark. And they, I woke up. They put me in the car, brought me home. It never happened again, but it happened, and there was definitely some kind of guardian with me that day because I still rack my brain about that day to remember. And
you were completely blacked out.
Completely blacked out.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
Very embarrassing.
How old were you? 16? 17?
I could have been 15. 16, yeah. I should have been in 11th grade.
All right, so
10th grade. So yeah, so
15, 16.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Any less dangerous drunk or high stories you want to tell us? Like,
okay. Oh, I got a drunk story.
Oh, good.
Okay, when I flipped out on a girl in Arizona. Okay, so we go out to the bar, and it's the bar. It's called what was it called? The bar that had the multiple bars.
I don't fucking care what it was called. Jimmy's. Who cares?
Jimmy's. We went to Jimmy's. We went out to the bar. They had a special. It was 25-cent. You call it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but you only could get them between 8 and 10.
Okay.
So I had everybody go get me all these drinks, and I'm sending everyone up every 5 minutes. Don't get no ice in them. Don't get no ice in them. Get no ice in them. So I got 25, 30 drinks lined up on the bar, and I drank every one of them.
Oh my God.
I drank every one of them.
And you were what, 110 pounds at the time?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
maybe. And we go home, and it pissed me off. Girl pissed me off.
Mm.
And Carl, I was trying to get out of the car. I was going to follow this bitch into her house. And he's like, look, you're going to get the cops calling you. It's 2, 3 in the morning. And I'm as loud, you could hear me a mile away. I'm screaming top of my lungs. So I get back in the car. He drags me to the car by my ponytail. And a friend of ours turns around and, oh my God, what do you abuse your girl, your lady? What are you doing? And he's like, no, this is the only way to get her back in the car. This is the only way she's going to do it. So I'm looking around. I'm going to get out of this fucking car. I'm definitely going to get out. I looked up, the sunroof was open. I fucking hoisted my ass out of that sunroof. And as he's shoving me back in. Long story short, I didn't get out. I didn't hurt anybody. He got me back in the car. But yeah.
Was the car moving when the sunroof incident?
Was it moving? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess it was moving.
Jesus Christ.
I played the juke move.
All right.
I was like, ooh.
I'm going to stop asking you about drunk stories. All right. Any pee, puke, or fart stories you want to share? Anytime you pissed yourself, you puked, or you farted, or you embarrassed yourself?
I don't know. I not really. Maybe not when not embarrassing myself. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone would have known. You know what I mean? Peeing myself, I do that on a regular basis. I'm a mother. I cough and I sneeze and I pee. So that's embarrassing in its
Do
own.
you do the fucking pee dance on a regular like your mother?
Absolutely. You're holding it. You
Oh, dude, I'm headed about it. I'm heading that. Well, I do it too. I piss myself once a week. It's ridiculous. Anyway, all right. How about a time you shit yourself?
I have never shit myself like in public.
Come on.
No,
Never. You never shit yourself like like running to the bathroom. Anything. Don't fucking look for your husband. Do you ever shit yourself?
Tell me definitely. No.
I'll ask him later.
I mean, when I'm sick, yeah, maybe I might have shit myself running like
any like fucking skid marks or anything like that.
A few here and there. I wear when you wear thong underwear and you fart, you tend to get some skid marks.
Oh my god!
Oh shit!
You ever get caught having sex?
No.
You ever?
Well, I've been walked in on. My cousin Ruth walked in on us once. Walked in on me and Carl once.
Do you ever catch our parents having sex?
Oh, once. And my eyes bled. Okay, so I didn't see. I seen shadow. So I never knocked on their door. And I used to crawl in. If I would have a bad dream or something, I would open their door real slow and crawl in on my hands and knees.
Yeah.
And lay at on the floor at the foot of their bed.
And not tell them.
So one day I opened the door and all you seen was the ass up in the air, the shadow. The
big fat ass.
The big fat ass up in the air and the shadows of it. And I was like, oh my God. And so later Daddy comes down and he's like, yeah, caught us, didn't you? Maybe next time you'll fucking knock.
And how old were you?
Oh, I had to be, we were still on H Street. I had to be 10, 11.
No, you were less than that.
Less than that? No, we moved out when I was 12.
Oh, you're
we moved
okay.
to Uncle John's, I was 12.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had my communion on H Street. When me, Kathleen, and Danielle had our communion together.
Right.
Yeah. So
and you were there for Poultrygate, right? At John's house.
Oh, I was there. I lived there with them, and it was pretty hard. We had a little hard time living there with Daddy and Ree's relationship.
Yeah, that was not good. Huh?
Yeah, it's all about. I don't know what was it. Did it not get cooked right?
He told her he should use a meat thermometer to cook the poultry. I forget what it was. I want
to say it was turkey.
It was a turkey or something. What doesn't matter. It was either turkey or roast pork.
And I'm surprised you were there because we went there and you never came back. You went to my mom's and never came back.
Nope. Peace.
Nope.
I never slept.
Nope.
I never slept there once.
I don't know. I don't remember you ever sleeping there once. You never went there with us.
Yeah. Sorry.
Nope.
Sorry. I backed out, bro. Peace. I slept on the fucking mom's couch for the next 2 years. All right. How about catching others having sex? You ever catch anybody else having sex? Other than cousin Ruth?
No, that's other than God. And it's been a couple times from cousin Ruth, not more than once. But no, I don't think I've ever called anybody else.
No.
I'm boring when it comes to that.
All right. Now's the part of the podcast where I ask my 20 questions. Are you ready?
Ready. As ready as I can be.
All right. Here you go. It is the Angry Dave podcast. What makes you angry?
Stupid people.
Explain.
Just common sense. Common sense. Be aware of your surroundings. Just say, excuse me. Say just little things too. It's not even much. I'm not even asking much. Just why do I feel like I'm always moving to the side for someone when they're passing by? It's
inconsiderate people.
Inconsiderate people. Yeah. I mean, and listen, you're in a bad mood. Keep your bad mood at home. There's things happening in my life too. I don't go to work and put out bad vibes, because I'm in a bad mood because me and my husband are fighting. That ain't none of my, you leave that at the door. You go to work. Yeah, that's where you go to get away from it.
Yeah.
So why bring it with you?
Yeah.
I don't care what you're, not to sound inconsiderate,
right.
But
right.
It's
everybody's got their shit.
Nobody does, right? It's no one has time to baby and coddle you,
Right. The world doesn't give a fuck.
Absolutely, and they
Yeah.
don't.
What makes you happy?
My family makes me happy. A lot of people say that, but my family definitely makes me happy.
Yeah. That's
And
okay.
yeah,
What are you most proud of?
I'm proud of my kids because they could have turned out like I was. I mean, like they could have been doing the things that I was doing.
Yeah.
But I am kind of proud of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I come a long way.
Good.
I really do think I've come a long way, and it's the first time in my life that I can actually say that I'm proud of myself. I watched you graduate high school, college, law school, and I not that I was jealous. I was so proud of you,
Right.
but I felt like that I slighted my parents. That I don't know. It's funny how I
No,
don't
I
know
know.
why. I feel like I should have like oh that could have been me up there.
Right.
Look how proud they are of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wish they would feel that way about me.
Right.
You know,
Well, I want to tell you that I'm most proud of your daughters and the way you raised them. That's not a coincidence that they're nice, great people, right? That they're wonderful kids. That has something to do with the way you raised them and the way you love them,
thank you.
right? That doesn't happen by accident. They don't come here and treat everybody with respect and are nice and outgoing and loving. That doesn't happen on accident. That happened because what the two of you did. So that's what I'm most proud of about you.
Thank you.
And what I also want to tell you is that doesn't really matter because what I think of you and what anybody else in this world thinks of you doesn't matter. It's what you think of you what matters and what those girls think of you. And that's it.
I know that.
Yeah.
No, I know. As I get
So,
older, that's a lot of what I've always worried about. What are they going to think? What are they going to think?
yeah.
What are they going to think? We're not doing good enough. That he's not taking care of me. You know what I mean? Like, we're not supposed to. He's not supposed to take care of me. I'm not supposed to take care of him. We're supposed to take care of each other.
Right.
So it's when our dad died, I went out working for 3 years, and I lied to my mother and told her I was working because I didn't
Right.
want her to worry about me.
Right.
We were okay. We were good.
Why did it affect you like that?
I don't, I don't know. It still affects me.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it because you weren't around? Because it's sort of like unfinished business?
I do think so.
Yeah.
When he told me he was sick, I was like, all right, I'm coming. Even Carl's like, I'm sending you. If you're gonna go by yourself and be
Right.
with your dad, you can be with your dad. And he didn't want us to come.
Yeah.
He knew that I would just show up. I was the type of person that would just, I don't care. I haven't been listening to you since I've been 12 years old. You think I'm gonna
Right.
do what you say now? I'm
Yeah.
30, and he begged me not to come.
Right.
And my mommy called me, and she was like, and she's never really even done something like this, and just said, "Look, I don't care if you understand. Just tell him you understand. Just give him that peace of mind.
Right.
Just he doesn't want you to watch him wither away."
Right.
Okay, well, but everyone else gets to. That's how I felt. It's
Yeah. I mean, that was a little bit unfair of them to do that. But I just want to tell you that there's no unfinished business. Your father loved you, and he cared about you, and he wanted the best for you, and he said that to me.
Well, he told me, he said, "What do you want to come out here for? What do you need to come out here? What are you going to tell me, Theresa? You love me? I know you love me."
Right.
And it was just so quick.
It was quick.
Because we had plans. We had a lot of plans.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was quick. I think he thought he was going to survive a little bit longer. Right.
At least.
Yeah, a year maybe.
Well, yeah, he told me I'm in a fight for my life, and I'm probably going to lose it.
Right.
But
he's going to fight while he was still smoking cigarettes. Yeah.
I don't think, and then blaming it on me. This son of a bitch blamed it on me that when I got pregnant that he had quit. Remember, he quit.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you jerk off.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and the other thing I wanted to tell you is that all that stuff that happened in the past is what made you who you are, and you should be proud of who you are. And I'm proud of who you are, and your husband's proud of who you are, and your daughters are proud of who you are. So who fucking cares about what happened 25 years ago?
Right.
You got to let it all go, and you got
I
to.
have. I am.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
in the
working on it.
process of it. It's hard. It's hard.
I know.
And I think it was the distance. I hadn't
Right.
seen him
Look.
in if 2 years. I didn't see him, and then the time I did see him 2 years prior,
Yeah.
it was quick. It was
Right. It was.
so quick. And he went on a ride. He had to be sick then. He
Oh, I'm
definitely.
sure. I'm sure he was sick then.
They definitely had to be sick then because he went on a car ride with car on his race car, and it took the breath away from him so bad it made him sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and then they left. So there was no real like we spent maybe an hour together.
Right. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
If you could have done anything with your life professionally, what would you have liked to have been?
Well, in my whole life, I always wanted to be a dancer.
Yeah.
My whole life, and I knew you were gonna. I know you knew I was gonna say that.
Mhm.
But I went to dancing school for what, 14 years?
Yeah.
I was what 4 or 5 when I started, 16 when I stopped.
Yeah.
When I stopped going to school, when I started cutting school, mommy took me out. She wouldn't pay for it anymore. And she told me, if you're not going to go to school, you don't get dancing school.
You were starting to cut dancing school too, though.
I was.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was. I went, but I didn't. Yeah, I was starting to cut it.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to. You paid a lot of money for that thing.
Yeah.
Place. And
Change if you could change one thing in your life, what it would it be?
maybe I could be more. Think. I don't think I'm smart. Okay,
Right.
like not that I'm stupid,
Right.
just that I don't think. And there's a lot of people in my life that think I'm very intelligent.
Yeah.
But I don't give that to myself. I need to work on that. I need to definitely change that.
The underestimation of yourself.
Underestimation, because I have changed the whole outlook on getting upset when people don't like me or say something. I'm not gonna. I tell my kids all the time not to let anybody dull their sparkle.
Right.
Don't let someone get in your head. That's all they want. They want you to react. They want you to be miserable like them. And the like I was saying earlier, the best thing you can do, the worst thing you can do to them is be happy.
Yeah.
And not let it affect you.
Right.
Because then that's going to make them even more upset and mad that you're not reacting to their miserableness.
Yeah.
You
know you're a better writer than most people that I know. Do you know that?
What do you mean?
You're not trained in it, right? But you write and communicate better than people that are trained.
For some, I can spell real well.
But I'm not talking about spelling. I'm talking about writing and putting it together in a coherent way, in a trained way.
It's funny. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't think that I am.
You are.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you are. And I know you don't know that about yourself, but you underestimate yourself. You are a smart girl, woman, lady, mother. Anyway, all right. How about one thing you would change about the world?
Oh God, there's so many, but
just
I
one.
Wish people were nicer to each other.
Yeah.
Or women could be nicer to each other.
Yeah.
Especially, we should definitely talk each other up instead of talking each other down.
Yeah.
It absolutely need to start helping each other instead of hating each other.
Right.
And that's for everybody.
How about the most important thing to you? What is most important?
It's got to be family. Another answer that's answered a lot, but it's got to be. That's why it's answered a lot that way, because it definitely is the most important thing.
How about the most unreasonable thing about you?
Most unreasonable thing?
Yes.
What do you mean by unreasonable?
Like things that you are unreasonable about. Do you get too angry? Do you care about something too much? Just whatever. I mean, unreasonable things about me are I get angry about dumb shit that I'm still working on. I get fixated on dumb things like the way that the Philadelphia police handle traffic when you're coming out of stadiums.
Okay, yeah.
I get infuriated and I want to fucking kill everybody and write letters and
you think that that's a little too much? It's a little unreasonable.
Yeah, it's unreasonable, Trace. Yeah, I get.
Well, you should do that. You can do the jobs better, but you don't have to get so upset about it.
Right.
I guess I do get upset, a little too upset when things don't go my way. Like I want to be able to plan and have structure.
Yeah.
And I never really have. And that's the thing that I regret in my children's lives, that there wasn't like a set bedtime, or I didn't do that for them. And I feel like they'd be better now for that.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like they could have had a little bit more structure time wise.
So it's funny. It's funny that you say that because I worry about my children that they have everything planned in their life that they're not going to be able to deal with things not going their way.
Yeah, see, mine's the opposite. I feel like they're not going to, that they're going to be too not planned, and not look forward and say, all right, what am I going to do 5 years from now? You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, I don't want them to have to worry now so young, but what am I going to do? You have to look into the future. You have to, definitely.
All right. How about what is an everyday struggle for you? Mine is eating, and Italian meats in particular.
Hey, an everyday struggle for me is definitely smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Working on that.
Yeah.
So,
any more people have to die in your family?
Well, that's what I was just going to say, that, my dad only died from lung cancer, but, and others in my family of cancer.
Yeah.
So, I need to stop. I need to get my shit together and be here for my kids. I don't want my kids to feel the way I did when I lost my dad.
Right.
So, I need to stop being so selfish. It's a little bit of a selfishness, I think.
Well, it's an addiction.
They
right?
need me. Yeah. I remember begging him to stop when I was their age.
Yeah.
Before I smoked.
You remember? Yeah. Well, don't mean you're going to get cancer.
Every picture, he's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah.
We could have been dancing at a wedding together. Yeah. And he's got a cigarette.
He's a fucking Marlboro man. How about your best quality? What is your best quality?
I think I give great advice. I'm really good at giving advice to people and calming people down and bringing them back to
Center.
Yeah, I really am, but I'm not good at doing it for myself. I'm a nut. When I get mad and I get that mad, there really is no calming me down.
So maybe that's the most unreasonable thing.
Maybe that is. Yeah.
How about a type of music that you hate?
It's fine. I really don't hate any music. I never come from Philly. I always listen, of course, hip hop. And when I moved to and met Carl, he likes heavy metal.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not talking about death metal.
Right.
Just heavy metal.
Like Metallica.
Slipknot. Slipknot's a little heavy, but, and I really never cared for it. And then I went to a few concerts, and I wouldn't listen to it on a regular basis, but I don't like the heavy metal. You don't know
like
what they're
metal.
saying. Death metal, yeah, it's a little much.
How about your favorite type of music?
I don't know. I like it all. I really do like it all. But I guess I would mostly listen to R&B, or what our parents used to listen to. For some reason, I don't know when they got into the country stuff.
Yeah,
but they would listen to like easy listening.
Right.
Yeah,
like B101 in Philadelphia.
Yeah. That's what Mom used to put on the radio all the time. That's the songs that you always know the lyrics to the rest of your life, And,
right.
Yeah.
Stuff like pop music. How about one quality that annoys you the most about other people?
I just wish people would be more observant of their surroundings.
Yeah.
That's how I've always learned. I wasn't good at reading books. I wasn't good at sitting down and listening to a teacher. But if I observe my surroundings and, I can learn. That's how I teach myself.
Right. How about a quality in others that you admire the most?
One quality, especially in particular Carl, I like that he can just say whatever. Laura, she's like that too. Just whatever's on their mind, they're able to just say it and not
say it in a mean way.
And not say it in a mean way. Just say it. Just I wish that I could be more. I shell up. I don't want to upset people.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the bad. I don't want to be the mean guy, the bad guy. So I'll go without saying things and let people pretty much walk all over me in a way.
Right.
Without saying anything.
Until you get mad and
until I get mad, and then I blow.
yeah.
And then I look like I'm the idiot for blowing.
Yeah.
I'm the uncontrollable one, or the
We have that problem together. I think that has a lot to do with the way we grew up, in the household that we grew up in. If you were arrested, what would people think happened?
when I was maybe in my early 20s shoplifting. But now probably I don't know. I got into an argument and got into a fight, maybe, or maybe smoking weed. But you don't get arrested for that no more. So
Right.
I'm good.
If you could be the best at one thing in the world, what would it be?
I was best in the world at one thing, and that's a good question.
I know. I'm good at this.
Good questions, man. They're really hard. I should have thought about that. I listened to every one of your podcasts. I probably should have thought about these questions that I was going to know I was have to answer.
How about something that you wish you could be better at?
Wish I could be better at. Definitely. Like again, I feel like I don't know things, so I feel like I can be better at everything. Like I can be better at my job. I can be a better mother. I can. I think that I would want to be better at telling people how I feel without getting upset and or without making them thinking I'm attacking them.
Right.
So and because I have that whole head switch and hands, I talk with my hands, so it seems rude. It seems that I'm coming up, I'm upset.
Right.
So maybe I could dial it down, and then when I get upset, when someone does something I don't like my blood pressure goes up. That feeling, that jittery feeling you get inside, like you get hot.
Yeah.
And I let that overtake me.
Right.
Instead of just breathing and doing what I have to do to get things done. You know what I mean? Like I need to give myself more credit.
Yeah. You do. What's your favorite curse word?
We were saying it earlier. One of them's fucked hard.
Fucked hard's a good one.
Yeah. And I use Jesus Christ a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Jesus Cremini a lot. That's not too much of a curse word. Nobody knows what that means out and on the West Coast. They're like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, I don't even think I know what it means. I think it's just like a way of not just saying Christ. It's,
right.
Cunt face. And I really don't like cunt that much. It's a nasty word, but some women deserve it. So,
some men deserve it.
Some men deserve it too. Yeah.
How about your favorite sound? You have a favorite sound?
Sound?
Birds chirping. The wind. Your husband snoring.
No, my husband's snoring. God, I want to punch him in the middle of the night. He snores so bad. Snores so bad.
What's your
No, the ocean. I really enjoy the sound of the ocean.
What's your least favorite sound?
Probably him snoring. When you look at the shorts on TikTok, the TikTok videos, and you leave it on that one video and it just plays over and over, and it drives me absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
All right, last question. When it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered for?
I just want just that I was a good person. It's all wraps up to be that I did what I was supposed to do. I loved my kids. I made them good people. If I can do anything in this world, is not my kids not to be assholes, and just to be good to their kids and their kids.
Yeah.
So definitely would want to be remembered for being just a good person, just all around, thoughtful. We don't have a lot of friends.
Right.
So, and you say like like how it's unhealthy not to go and do your own thing. Well, it's been me and him just for all these years, but we've tried to have friends and they've done nothing but pull us down and do bad things. Like we walk, you bend over backwards.
Right.
And then you're not even asking for nothing, you're just asking for a friend,
right.
And they're never there. So, the minute you're down and out, you're the piece of shit that's down and out, you know, so you're no good to them. So it's just us,
Right.
And that's okay. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It gets lonely sometimes. I know he wishes he had more friends. I know I wish I had a girlfriend or two.
Right.
But working on that too. So, yeah.
Again, they don't have to live next to you.
No, they don't.
Yeah. You have anything else for me?
No, and I was nervous, but it was nice. It was fun. I was looking forward to it. So
You did a good job, and I love you.
I love you too.
I'm glad you're here,
More than anything.
and I miss you.
I miss you too.
All right, until next time, so I don't make my sister cry anymore. We're out. Peace.